Hey everybody, it's Mike Peasall, pastor at Gateway Christian Center here in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. Today is Wednesday, May the 15th, and this is Mike's Midweek message. Today's topic is do the next right thing. Just a few weeks ago, Sally and I got to go to Murfreesboro to a conference that was there at Alan Jackson's church, World Outreach Center. And I'm still processing, unpacking a lot of things that I heard. Some great speakers, really good time. I think the thing that probably struck me the most and that I've thought about more and probably repeated more, especially in messages and things like that. Allie Stuckey, she's a podcast host. She's a mom. She wrote a book called "You're Not Enough and That's Okay," and I love that title. But when during a question and answer time, she was asked, what do we do, as a mom, as a conservative woman in this world at this time, what do you do? And she just simply said, she goes, do the next right thing with excellence and to the glory of God. And I was like, man, I gotta write that down. That's really good, because it doesn't make it be. Most of us, we live in some pretty crazy times, and we're looking for somebody that we trust to tell us something that we can do to affect a change in, whether it's society as a whole, whether it's in people's lives, whether it's in the political realm, whatever. We're looking for somebody to tell us what to do that we trust, and then to do those things. But this brought it all the way back to wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you have, you just do the next right thing with excellence to the glory of God. So that was just really, it's like something I'm trying to apply to my life every day. I encourage you to do that too. But then, I'm always writing down ideas for my midweek messages. And a few days ago, I had written this down about the miracle of the feeding of the 5,000. And so all of a sudden this morning, as I was thinking about today's midweek message, those two things just kind of merged together. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. We know in the scripture there's at least two different times, and I say at least because Jesus may have fed multitudes more than just twice, but we know there were two different times because the events are different, the numbers are different. There's one time where he fed 5,000, and there was one time where he fed 3,000. Now we also know that it wasn't just 5,000 or 3,000, because it says 5,000 men and women and children. 3,000 men and women and children. So the 5,000 could easily be 15,000. The 3,000 could easily be 9,000. If you average, that most of the men who were there had wives and at least one child. So you can see how the number, we're not going to guesstimate on that. But let me read you the story. One of the places we find it is in Matthew chapter 14, verses 14 through 21. Let me read that to you. When he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion on them, and he healed their sick. Now, when it was evening, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a desolate place. The day is now over. Send the crowds away to go into the villages to buy food for themselves." But Jesus said, "They need not go away. You give them something to eat." They said to him, "We have only 5 loaves here and 2 fish. And he says, "Bring them here to me." Then he ordered the crowds to sit down on the grass, and taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, he looked up to heaven and said a blessing. Then he broke the loaves and gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the crowds. And they all ate and were satisfied, and they took up 12 baskets full of broken pieces left over. And those who ate were 5,000 men, besides women and children. Now, I don't know how much you've thought about this, but my mind, the way I work, I was thinking back to Pompano Beach Elementary School, where we had those word problems. If Johnny had this and the train left at this, So here is my my word problem for you. If Jesus had 5 loaves and 2 fish, and he gave them to 12 disciples to feed 5,000 people, how many pieces would Jesus have to divide the original fish and loaves to distribute them evenly to 10,000 people? Okay. You think about that, just the layers and layers and layers. It's not just one miracle. Oh yeah, Jesus miraculously fed 5,000 plus people. There are multiple places where miracles happened through the story. So if you think, okay, well, they brought Jesus the fish and the loaves, and then Jesus prayed, and then all of a sudden, there was enough fish and bread piled up in front of Jesus that it would feed all those people. It doesn't say that. Okay, so Jesus prayed, and then he took those fish and he divided them up, and when he put them in the basket, each disciple, 12 guys, carried enough in one basket to feed a twelfth of 5,000 people. Those are baskets that are so big they wouldn't be able to lift them. So that's why I say, see, the miracles happened along the way. I think the first miracle is when Jesus believes that his Father is going to provide, and he lifts what is to us not enough to the Lord, because Jesus knows everything is enough with the Father. Whatever you have, whether it seems insignificant or whether it seems a lot, God will take what you have and he will multiply it. That's the first miracle. The second miracle is these disciples who they're like, okay, well, Jesus has got, he's got 5 loaves. He's got 2 fishes. He's asked us to pass them out. He's given us a basket. We walk up. I'm going to get a 12th of 5 fish. 5 loaves. I'm going to get a 12th of 2 fishes. Well, at least I'll see, I'll be able to see and smell the bread and the fish, and I'll be able to give at least one person a little snackable. That's faith. So the fact that Jesus takes 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes, and he divides them up where it fills 12 baskets for the disciples, because now they're looking down and going, wow, I have a full basket. But they're still thinking, well, I have a basket full, but there's 5,000 people. This is okay, I'm going to be able to feed a few people. What were they thinking? I'm going to do the next right thing with excellence to the glory of God. I'm only going to have enough food to feed that group of people right over there, but I'm going to go feed that group of people. I'm going to do the next right thing with excellence to the glory of God. And then you realize there's another miracle. Every time a hand comes in that basket and pulls out enough to feed them, to satisfy them, because the scripture says they were satisfied. Every time that hand goes in and pulls out, that basket stays full. See, at the end of it, there remains 12 full baskets remaining. So we see that the miracle happened all along there. Now, sometimes you and we're waiting for the big miracle. We're waiting for, I don't play the lottery, but eventually somebody's going to win the lottery who I've helped, and they're going to come back and they're going to say, oh man, you're so awesome. We're waiting on getting the provision to meet the need. When the fact is, as long as you are in the Lord, as long as you have faith in the Lord, as long as you trust in the Lord, you already have everything you need. Now, it may not be in your wallet, it may not be in your bank account, it may not be in your pantry, it may not even be in your mind or your body, but if you do the next right thing with excellence to the glory of God, there's going to be plenty. So I guess my challenge to you today is, would you like to be part of a miracle of God? Well, yeah, Mike, I'd like that. And as soon as I get, X amount of dollars, or as soon as I get blah, 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 I'm gonna be in the line to be part of a miracle. I'm telling you, as a believer in Jesus Christ, you are already loaded for a miracle. Do the next right thing with excellence to the glory of God, and then see how God uses you in a miraculous way. I hope you have an incredible week, and I will see you next Wednesday.